So recently there's been growing buzz and a lot of talk surrounding Monster Hunter, mainly because the newest installment, Wilds, is set to drop this month with 2 free open betas just around the corner. After hearing more and more about the game, it was pretty clear that the game had an overwhelmingly positive opinion from players, and expectations from Wilds is insanely high. Some even going as far as to call this game the game of the year. So for me, the questions, could this game really be the game of the year? And is this shit actually that good? To start things off, I want to be really clear here. I'm one of the seemingly few people who never actually tried Monster Hunter games. Now, as an MMO guy, of course, I've always heard of Monster Hunter and knew the basic concept of it, but it wasn't really one of those games I dove into because, well, it wasn't an MMO. Generally speaking, it was very rare to see someone give a negative opinion on Monster Hunter. Well, with the exception of Rise, some people shat on that game for whatever reason. Maybe I'll find out one day. But the talk about the latest installment, Monster Hunter Wilds, started to begin. I'm going to be completely honest with you. What sparked my interest personally was that the game is set to have a seamless open world, not to mention a party link system allowing players to join each other at any time. After gathering this immediately made me question whether or not this was going to make the game feel a little bit more like an MMO. To be clear, it's not an MMO. It's not by definition a massively multiplayer in the sense where you'll be adventuring out in the wild amongst thousands of people. Instead, you'll be in town where there'll be up to 100 people, and when you venture out, you'll be able to venture out either solo or in a party of up to 4 people. Wilds is definitely an open world multiplayer action RPG with hundreds of thousands of players that will be playing. While we're on the subject of MMOs, when it comes to traditional open world MMOs, this obviously isn't the same thing. But is it really that different from modern day lobby-based theme park MMOs? It's kind of the same shit, to be honest. I mean, we call Lost Ark an MMO, but I can assure you it's actually the same system of you're in town with a few other people you see, since the towns are segmented into channels. Then you queue into a raid with 4 to 8 other people. Rinse and repeat. Anyways, so everyone's been really hyping up Wilds to the point where it legit started to sound like a real alternative to MMOs, for me at least. So after all of this, I decided it was time for me to finally give this game a shot. As per everyone's recommendation, the game to try was Monster Hunter World. This would give me a good idea of what Wilds will be like. I was told that Wilds was supposed to be a better, more updated version of World, so getting a taste of Monster Hunter World would paint a better picture of what to expect with Wilds. I had one mission. That mission was to play Monster Hunter World for 24 hours and then decide whether or not I was going to play Wilds. Long story short, I pretty much decided it was time to pre-order Wilds a few hours in. The game was actually pretty damn straightforward. You have a safe zone where you do all your RPG town-like stuff, then you venture off to a map to hunt a monster. You have gear you upgrade along the way, which you farm mats for by gathering materials and slaying beasts. Missions pretty much revolve around this basic concept. If you've ever played Lost Ark, Monster Hunter is pretty much a game focused around Guardian raids, only much better. The same way Path of Exile is pretty much a game focused around the Chaos Dungeons of Lost Ark. This is a comparison for the Lost Ark heads, since I have a background with that game. Most Lost Arkers will think that's boring. Believe me, it's 1,000 times better than the Guardian raids in Lost Ark, Monster Hunter that is. That shit's like a budget mobile version of Monster Hunter. I can see why the original endgame of Lost Ark, way back in the day, try to copy the Monster Hunter experience. Out the gate, the combat felt very slow. It felt very heavy and very clunky, but after practicing a bit, the combat felt way better, and I could start seeing, or I could start beginning to see, the design intent behind it. Every attack you trigger matters, and there are a variety of combos dealing different amounts of damage, potentially proccing different effects, and most importantly, different timings. As I got a better understanding of learning my weapon, and most importantly, choosing the right weapon, the combat really started to pick up, and I started to really like it. Attack pattern recognition and mastering the timing of your combos, which include counter frames, by the way, to the attacks is pretty much everything. You can also learn how to use the actual terrain itself to fight against these monsters. Grapple onto the boss and perform attacks on him, use flash grenades to interrupt him, or even destroy parts of the map that will trigger major shifts in the terrain. It just felt like it was the full package, anything goes type of thing. I'm probably not really doing this game's combat experience justice, but just know there is way more to it than just going to the boss and smash it with abilities until he dies. The game really does deliver on giving the player the experience of feeling like a real hunter. Okay, so I could see why Monster Hunter has such a goated reputation, but what about Wilds? What are we getting with in Wilds, and why are there so many people calling it a possible game of the year? Well, I know what you're thinking. How could it not be when you have Chun-Li in the damn game giving you your damn quests? Anyways, for starters, it's based off of the foundation of Monster Hunter World, which is indeed a fantastic game. It won Best RPG in 2018, and Wilds has already won 4 awards in Gamescom in 2024. It's kind of crazy how easy it is to win awards by simply adding Chun-Li to your damn game. Kind of wild. No pun intended. Actually, the pun was, of course, intended. In all seriousness, though, aside from the new seamless open world and party link feature that I mentioned earlier, it looks like Wilds is really taking Monster Hunter to the next level by taking the foundation of Monster Hunter World, but just upgrading it in pretty much every department. Combat was already good, but it's being improved. A new focus mode, for example, allowing players to have even more control over their characters, attacking in the direction their camera is facing rather than being locked into the direction they were in when performing the attack. Improvements to weapons, quality of life, a lot of little things that will for sure amount to a much more polished, up-to-date, immersive experience. Inclemency is a thing, with weather changing the zones affecting your hunts, endemic life in the biomes being impacted by the monsters you hunt. You have ecosystems shifting based on what you do. Then, on top of this, you also have new active events, adding to the dynamic gameplay. You can even call in non-Papega AI support NPC hunters to join you on your hunts as well. Well, supposedly they're non-Papega. Oh, and the biggest W change, allowing players to skip cutscenes. I know, huge. After playing Monster Hunter World, I'm personally stoked for Wilds, and I definitely am planning on covering it on this channel as well as Twitch. I'm going to be continuing to play through the world, Monster Hunter World that is, until the Wilds beta test and up until the launch. So definitely drop by my Twitch. I do plan on streaming a good bit of Monster Hunter. In order to learn the game, I've been taking my time with pretty much learning and reading through everything. At the moment, I recently took down Diablos in my non-defender gear, and I plan on going through all the way up to and through Iceborne, hopefully before Wilds comes out. Not sure if I can. If I can, I'm not sure if I really have the time, but we'll see. I just want to try and learn as much as I can about the game before Wilds comes out, so I will definitely need your expert level advice. If you are a veteran, backseating is welcome for this game on my Twitch. Just don't give me dumb advice. I had one dude in my chat telling me that I should try to not get hit by the boss when he attacks me. I mean, just phenomenal advice there, right? Anyways, that's gonna do it for this video. Tell me in the comment section below how excited you are for Wilds And can you see this game actually being the game of the year? I'll see you guys in the next video.